Hello, my dear students. Today we will discuss a new chapter of Electrostatics 3, that is capacitance. How we will define capacitance of a conductor? So let's start. What is capacitance of a conductor? First of all, we should know that what is capacitance. Capacitance means we have different capacity, I have different capacity in whichever manner. But here, the conductor capacitance means how it has capacity to store a charge. So capacitance of a conductor measures capability or capacity to store the charge that we have added to it. That means when a conductor is charged, how much maximum charge, what amount of charge it can store, that is measured by a quantity known as a capacity of a conductor. First of all, we should know how it will be formulated in a mathematical sense, how we will define capacity of a conductor or a capacitor. Let it is a conductor. Now we have to charge it. Let we have positive charge given to the conductor. Let the amount of charge is plus capital Q, and after getting this amount of charge, our conductor increase its potential by V unit. Again I am repeating, the Q amount of charge given to the conductor and the potential of the conductor increases by V unit. If we will increase the charge, then potential will increases. So mathematical sense we can write the Q is proportional to V. Then we can formulate an equation Q is equal to CV. C is proportionality constant. Here we can say this proportionality constant is capacitance of a conductor. So how will you formula like this? C is equal to Q by V. This is the formula of a capacitance of a conductor. This is the first formula that we have formulated, capacity of a conductor. How can you define the capacity of a conductor by this formula? So you see this formula. So capacity of a conductor may be defined as amount of charge required to increase its potential by 1 unit. If V potential is given, you have to increase the V unit, then we have to give charge amount Q. If you will increase V unit, then we have to charge given to the conductor is Q. For increase the unit potential, we have to give the charge Q by V. This Q by V is known as capacitance of a conductor. So we can write capacitance of a conductor may be defined as the amount of charge required to increase its potential by 1 unit. Simply it is a scalar quantity. As charge and electric potential, we know that it is a scalar quantity. So capacitance of conductor is a scalar quantity. Let's discuss in its unit. As its formula is Q by V, so its SI unit is coulomb per volt. So we can say it farad, not Faraday. Faraday is the unit of charge, but farad is the unit of capacitance. Symbol is capital F. In electrostatic units, units should be start coulomb by start volt. That is start farad. So SI unit is farad and CGS unit is, or electrostatic unit is start farad. Now we have to the relation between farad and start farad. Let's start from 1 farad, means 1 coulomb by 1 volt. In previous class we know that 1 coulomb is 3 into 10 to the power 9 start coulomb. Again also we know that 1 volt is 1 by 300 start volt, not 300 start volt. 1 volt is 1 by 300 start volt. That previous class we have established the relation. Now from mathematical calculation we will find 300 will be upper part, 3 into 300, that will make 9 into 10 to the power 11 start coulomb by start volt. So the relation between farad and start Faraday we should remember by this formula. 1 Faraday must be equal to 9 into 10 to the power 11 start farad. There are some practical units of capacitance. One is microfarad, that means 10 to the power minus 6 F. Another one is nanofarad, that is 10 to the power minus 9 F. And another one is millifarad, that is 10 to the power minus 3 F. And another one is your picofarad, that is 10 to the power minus 12 F. These are the smaller unit of capacitance, and these are the known as practical unit of capacitance. But in SI system, its SI unit will be farad. 1 farad means 1 coulomb charge and 1 volt. That means 1 coulomb charge is needed to increase its potential by 1 volt. If a conductor will increase its potential by 1 volt, what amount of charge given to the conductor is said to be 1 farad. Then we will come to dimension. How will we establish the dimension of the capacitance? First, we should remember this formula: C is equal to Q by V. In the previous class, we know that V is equal to W by Q. Now, formula will be Q square by W. And dimension of charge, we know that A1 T1 as it is Q square, that is A2 to the power 2 T to the power 2. And work, the energy will be M1 L2 T to the power minus 2. So, our final answer is M minus 1 L minus 2 T to the power 4 and A to the power 2. Just to check it, the dimension of capacitance is M to the power minus 1, L to the power minus 2, T to the power 4 and A to the power 2. This is the dimension we can formulate from this formula: C is equal to Q by V. Now another quantity we have to remember, that is elastance. How it is defined? The reciprocal of a capacitance is known as elastance. So formula is elastance is equal to 1 by capacitance. So its SI unit will be farad inverse, and its dimension will be what we have calculated: M minus 1 L minus 2 T to the power 4 A to the power 2. Just we have to give the reciprocal. That's why that is M to the power minus 1, instead of it is written as M to the power 1, and L to the power minus 2 it is written as L to the power 2, T to the power 4 it is written as T to the power minus 4, and A to the power 2 it is written as A to the power minus 2. You just remember the elastance is equal to reciprocal of capacitance, and its physical significance is the same as the spring constant of a spring. As like in mechanical system, spring stores potential energy, here also capacitor stores potential energy. In further class, we will discuss how the energy of a capacitor. So you just to remember that this elastance is comparable with spring constant of spring. As the function of a spring, how to increase or decrease the potential energy of a loaded spring or spring. Similarly, the elastance factor is also responsible for calculation of energy stored in the capacitor. That's why the elastance is represented as the reciprocal of capacitance. You just remember this formula and the unit and the dimension and its physical significance. It is very much related with spring constant of a spring in your mechanical system. Now we have to discuss what is the value of a capacitance of a charged isolated sphere. Isolated sphere means there is no any other charged body near to it. It is isolated and it is charged. Let it is a spherical conductor, center is O, R is the radius of the sphere, and the total amount of charge given to the sphere is plus Q. And it is kept in vacuum. That's why its potential, electric potential should be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. That formula is discussed in previous classes. The electric potential of the charged sphere in vacuum is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. Now we have to calculate the capacitance of the sphere in the vacuum. How can be represented? Just we have remembered the formula: C0 is equal to Q by V0. We are putting the value of V0 here, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. You just see Q is cancelled out. So capacitance of isolated charged sphere in vacuum is 4 pi epsilon naught R. This formula is calculated in vacuum. If you will calculate this formula in any medium, so you replace epsilon 0 to epsilon. Epsilon 0 means, epsilon naught means permittivity in vacuum, and epsilon represent permittivity in any medium. This is the formula in vacuum and this is the formula in medium in SI system. Both formula are calculated in SI system. Then we have to discuss the conclusion, what the derivation part signifies us. First of all, we have to discuss how capacitance depends the permittivity of the medium. From the formula, it is directly discussed. Capacitance is directly proportional to permittivity of the medium. If you plot the graph C versus epsilon, graph will be like this. Again, you should remember how electric force represented with permittivity, how electric field intensity represented with permittivity, how electric potential represented with permittivity. In all these cases, in previous classes, we discussed that all these parameters, electrostatic force or electric field intensity or electric potential, is inversely proportional to permittivity. That means if permittivity of the medium increases, this parameter decreases. But here you see the capacitance is increases with increasing permittivity of the medium. Similarly, how it depends upon size of the conductor. Size of the conductor means here radius. If you increase the size of the isolated sphere, then its capacitance increases. If you will plot the graph capacitance versus radius, graph will be linear function. That means directly proportional to radius. And if you discuss what happens to the capacitance, if charge is given to the conductor increases, simple answer is independent, because formula is no charge is here. But if you will come to this formula, you may argue that if Q increases, C increases. But you see carefully, if Q increases, same amount of potential also increases. So ratio remains constant. So if charge is increases, there is no change in capacitance of the isolated sphere. So these 3 points you should remember. If you will increase the permittivity of the medium, then capacitance of the charged sphere increases. If you will increase the size or radius of the charged sphere, then also capacitance increases, but it is independent of the charge stored in it. And you also should carefully how the graph capacitance C varies with the permittivity, how graph capacitance varies with the radius of the sphere, and how capacitance is independent of the amount of charge given to the charged sphere. So for problem, we have to remember this formula for pi epsilon r, and we also remember how it depends the other factors. Now we discuss what amount of energy is stored in a capacitor or a conductor, as like battery or cell. Capacitor also stores energy, as it stores charge, as it also stores electric field, and it also stores energy. First of thing, you remember that capacitor stores charge. As it stores charge, definitely it stores electric field. And while charging the capacitor, some work is amount of done. That's why it energy is stored. So many things we have to discuss before the derivations. First of thing, we have to discuss an origin of the energy. How energy comes? Simply we see that when you take a conductor, let it to be charged. Initially small positive charge is given to it. Then we have to increase the positive charge. Very simple logic. Positive charge initially given, now we will add the positive charge. That means positive charge is given, we will add the positive charge. That means secondarily when positive charge is added to the conductor, it is against the repulsive electric field, because initially positive charge is there. If you will add extra positive charge, then it will be repelled. But instead of repulsion of electrostatic field, we have to add some charge. That means we have to some work against the electric field. This amount of work will be stored as a energy. In which form energy is stored, that is the second discussion or second thought. First of all, we think why this energy comes. Due to some work done during charging, some work is done. In which form energy is stored? As charge is stored on it or charge is kept on it, so it is stored in the form of potential energy. You should remember before derivation, what is the origin of this energy? When a conductor is charged, during charging you should remember some amount of work is done against charging. Again, in which form energy is stored? Energy is in the form of potential energy. As like a spring, when it is twisted or expanded, energy is stored in the form of potential energy. Similarly, when a conductor or capacitor is charged or discharged, this energy is stored in the form of potential energy. From where this energy we get? Simply, very simple answer, a conductor can be charged by giving a source of cell or battery connected to it. That's why we can confidently say that This amount of energy stored in the form of potential energy, it comes from a cell or a battery. Cell means small source, battery means large source. Now where this energy is stored? Inside a conductor, when you make a capacitor, there is some insulating medium is there, some medium is there. In a later class we will discuss what is capacitor exactly. In that medium we can say that energy is stored. Simply imagine a capacitor inside a fan. Inside a capacitor some medium is there. In that medium energy is stored in the form of potential energy. So these are the things we have to discuss, or we have to remember. What is the origin of this energy, where this energy comes from, in which form energy is stored, and where this energy is stored. Now simply mathematically we have to calculate what amount of energy is stored. Before calculation, let C is your capacitance of the capacitor or your conductor. Let at instantly the small q represent the instantaneous charge of the capacitor or conductor. Small v represent the instantaneous potential of the conductor or capacitor. That means when the charge small q is present, so in potential part is small v. Let total charge is given capital Q and total potential increase is capital V. So if you will write the capacitance of the capacitor or conductor, so we can write C must be equal to small q by small v or capital Q by capital V. So this formula first to keep in equation number 1, where it is necessary we can put this formula. Now we will start our derivation, the amount of energy. Let we have add small amount of charge initially, then there will be small amount of work done. From the previous formula we can write the small amount of work done must be potential into dq, because in previous class we know that V is equal to W by Q. So W is equal to VQ. So dW is equal to V into dq. When a dq amount of charge is added to it, during charging, if small amount of charge added to the conductor, then small amount of work is done against the charging in the electrostatic field. Then we will continue our derivation. In which manner? Now just to write dW is equal to V dq. Simply you manipulate this small v q by c, because c is equal to q by v. It is represented as q by c. Integrating both these sides, c kept constant, that is outside. Limiting value work done is 0 to W, and total charge is given capital Q means 0 to capital Q. In the left side we can directly put the value W, and 1 by C Q dq integration is Q square by 2. Put the limiting value 0 to capital Q. So formula is Q square by 2C. So first formula of work done we should remember Q square by 2C. If you change the parameter C or Q, then we will get new formula. How it is new formula? You see. Now I am putting C is equal to Q by V. C is equal to Q by V. Then this Q and this Q is cancelled out. Upper part is capital Q and this V is go upside. So next formula is half QV. Again I will manipulate this formula by changing Q. C is equal to Q by V means Q is equal to CV. So I am putting the value Q CV here, and very simple derivation, CV into V. So next formula is half CV square. Now collectively all these formula written in one box, you should remember, you represent the symbol of energy stored in the capacitor or conductor, that is the total amount of work done. First formula you should remember half CV square. If you will remember this only one formula, you can derive these two formulas. So there are three formula, half CV square, second one is half QV, and third one is Q square by 2C. While you solving the problem, what data you have given, if C and V data is given, so you can use the formula half CV square. If data Q and V given to you, so you should use the formula half QV. Then the next formula is Q square by 2C. These are the formula that represent the energy stored in your capacitor or a conductor. Now we have to discuss what amount of energy we are given to our capacitor or conductor. Let this symbol is E. Energy means charge into potential, because V is equal to W by Q, so energy is equal to V into Q. Let the potential of the battery is V and the charge given is drawn from the battery is Q. So total energy is QV. If I will write QV in terms of 2 into half QV, that should be correct. And you remember half QV represent the energy stored in the capacitor. So you can write the total energy supplied is equal to 2 into energy stored, or you can represented the energy stored in the capacitor or a conductor is equal to energy supplied by 2. That means your conclusion is what amount of energy given to the capacitor during charging, 50% of energy is stored on it. The rest 50 energy is lost in the form of heat. Generally, when a capacitor is working, some energy is lost in the form of heat. So you should remember this great conclusion. While in any moment you charge a conductor, a capacitor, so 50% of energy stored the supplied energy to the given conductor. In the next class, we will do some numericals. That today we have discussed some theory part. Today we have discussed what is the capacitance. First of all, capacitance means capability to store some amount of charge. And what is the formula of capacitance? C is equal to Q by V. From that formula, we can define the capacitance of a conductor or capacitor. It represents the amount of charge required to increase its potential by 1 unit. And it is a scalar quantity, and its SI unit is farad. If you define what is 1 Faraday, simply you can say that 1 Faraday will be the capacitance of a conductor if 1 coulomb charge is required to increase its potential by 1 unit. So many practical units are there that should remember for problem calculation: microfarad, nanofarad, picofarad, and millifarad, etc. Then we have to derive the formula of a capacitance of isolated charged sphere, that is 4 pi epsilon naught r in vacuum. In any medium, that is 4 pi epsilon r. So we may conclude that the capacitance of isolated charged sphere depends upon its size, that means radius of the sphere. If radius increases, then the capacitance of the sphere increases. If your permittivity of the medium increases, then also capacitance of the isolated sphere increases. But it is independent of the charge given to the capacitor. If it is less amount of charge or large amount of charge, capacitance of a conductor remains same. It only depends the size and the medium surrounding to it. Then we have discussed what amount of energy stored in a capacitor. Why energy stored in capacitor? Now, because during charging some mechanical work is done against charging, against the electrostatic force. That's why some amount of work is done, which is stored as a potential energy. In which form the potential energy is stored? It is stored in the form of potential energy. In which place? The medium inside the conductor or surrounding the medium. And this energy is supplied from a battery or source. If a battery supplies 10 joule of energy, you confidently say that your capacitor stores only 5 joule. The rest 5 joule energy is lost in the form of heat or in any other form. And the formula related to the energy stored in the capacitor, first formula is your half CV square, second formula is your half QV, and the third formula is Q square by 2C. So in next class, we will go through some numericals of this formula that we have discussed today. Thank you all.